Hello, everybody. As always, thank you so very much for watching. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Do like, share, leave a comment if you would, and please subscribe to the channel. If you're already a subscriber, make sure you've hit the notification bell so you know when an episode's going to be on. Now, a lot of stuff going on in the world, and we're keeping an eye on the Middle East. If you watch the show for some time, you know that we have Chris as one of our regular guests, and Chris is a security expert. I recommend you go back and watch the episodes with Chris and myself. In one of them, you'll see that we were talking about the possibility of escalation into world war based upon the Iranian-Israeli conflict that developed from the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And that's not what this episode is about, but in a way it kind of is, because it's a very serious situation. And the last thing you want in a serious situation, potentially worldwide, is a serious situation going on in your own country. And we have that as well. And that's what tonight's about. We start out here with, this is my YouTube homepage. And you see it says military stands with Trump. Mass arrests are taking place in Arizona. Biden and Pelosi will be removed. Indictments and arrests coming. A lot of things that the truth about Mike Flynn. A lot of things that the QAnon people are putting out there. And one of the sites is Dang, D-A-N-G-H-U-N-N, Dang Hon. And the site has a lot of these videos. General Flynn shares intelligence, lock Mark Milley up right now. Mark Milley, for those that don't know, is the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in charge of the United States military. Why would the Trump people want to lock him up? Flooded DUMBs, massive panic. We're going to get to that one in depth in just a few moments. Military operations, black ops, subpoena, indictments. Donald Rumsfeld at Gitmo. Donald Rumsfeld is dead. He died in June in New Mexico. But it's important because the people that watch these things and watch them faithfully, that's all they're seeing. They're only seeing one perspective of one thing. And as far as they know, that is the only truth. All right. Now, that's what makes this so dangerous. From their perspective, from their perception, everything that they see is true, and they are righteous and patriotic in what they are about to do and try to overthrow the American government. The further couldn't be from the truth. But that does not mean that they do not believe it with their whole hearts. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, do they really believe this stuff? Let's listen to just a couple of seconds here of one of these videos.
1,200 IQ, and he spoke 100 languages, some of them not even of Earth.
So there we go. She's run into somebody that speaks 100 languages and has an IQ of 1,200. This one I want to spend a little bit of
that's right. Roll up our
spend a little bit of attention to. Now, the lady that you hear, the lady that you hear is a tarot card reader, and take that for what it is worth. I'm going to go around this commercial here real briefly, and then want to get in depth a little bit with this second video. This is the one that the title of this particular episode is referencing, and
almost 48 hours.
Okay, first of all, the titles the video, the guy down here in the corner, none of those things matter. They are all up there so that if you as a member of the general public stumble across this video, you'll go, this is insanity. I'm not going to pay any attention to it. That's what they want. These are messages specifically for them. And these are ones that are being made public. So you can imagine what's going on in Telegraph and other private apps.
A friend of mine passed away, so I had to go and comfort his wife, and she lost her brother the very same day. So
Oh my
that
God.
was kind of traumatic. So
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Now, this has
about
nothing to
that.
do with it. Usually the first few
yeah,
seconds
I got a lot
are
of feelings about
irrelevant
it too, but you know, what can we do?
because they don't want the average person, or especially intelligence officers, watching.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, and hopefully everything will be all right with her, because that's a massive loss for her. Like at one time, a brother and her husband is pretty steep. But listen, me and that guy go back like old Cadillac car seats. So we had some good moments together. So hopefully everything will be okay with her. So
Here we go.
we're gonna start today. I'm just gonna start reading off some of the stuff that I got over the last 14 days.
Now stick with me on this, please.
Of research, and let me see if I'm sounding a little bit out.
One thing that I hope we can do is look at McAfee, because I know you said something about watch the
That
water.
edit is in the video. That was not
and
my edit.
McAfee has been, a lot of things seem to be happening, don't you think, Sarge?
Yeah, I'm hearing that Watch the Water, it's got to have multiple meetings, because there's a lot of things that are happening with this. Everybody knows that there's this flooding going on for the last 10 days all over the planet. Okay, and from what I'm hearing is that the alliance knew that the deep state was going to use a lot of people and start storms and stuff in places. Control of it, and it's being like directed to hot spots for the deep state, like the dumps that are located deep underground. There is a system that is unbelievable that they set up.
Now, these videos, they'll take a kernel of truth and then wrap it in lunacy. There are deep underground bases. When you hear them say dumb, that's what they're referring to. D for deep, underground military bases, DUMB. Those do exist. We know they exist under Area 51, for example. And there are other examples. I personally believe there's one under the Denver airport, specifically for people of influence in time of major catastrophe, but that's for another episode.
With our money for over the last, I think this has been going on for a very long time. Plus they have ancient tunnels underneath the earth that's been there for a very long time, but they made new ones. And the way water works, I mean, you can't flood out the dams, but you can flood out the entrances to get to these dams. You had to have openings to get to them. So I think that was when the Alliance got control of these weather modifications.
Okay, there's something called the Alliance, all right? Reminiscence of Star Wars, the Alliance against the evil empire. The Alliance got control of weather modification devices.
Devices that they were flooding them out.
Okay, there were horrendous floods in Europe, for those that don't know, just a few days back. The suggestion here is that there's some alliance and some deep state that actually control the weather. The weather's not controlled by God or by natural impacts. It's being generated.
Watching water, I'm hearing that in Germany.
Not that wouldn't be an incredible weapon, but does that actually exist? That's for you to decide. We just tell you, give you things to think about, not tell you what to think or how to think.
Germany and in Europe, reports were coming out 3 days ago that bodies was floating in the water. and a lot of them were kids, and the kids that was floating said it wasn't native to the countries in Europe. Like they were coming from someplace else. They could identify that it was back Indiana or from somewhere.
Okay. So what they're suggesting here is kids from Indiana floated in underground tunnels and came up in Germany. They floated underneath a quarter of the United States, then underneath the entire Atlantic Ocean, then underneath a majority of Europe to pop up in Germany. Now, first of all, if a bunch of kids from Indiana disappeared, we would hear about it on local news. But again, the people that are into this QAnon stuff, that are willing to die or kill for Donald Trump, these people, they don't even question something like this.
But they could tell that
It's dangerous.
So I don't know. I heard that there were pictures on the internet. They scrubbed them clean. But can you imagine this stuff that they've been doing for a very long time that we were unaware, and all these deep underground military bases and cave-ins that they were using unknown to us, where they were doing all their dirty stuff to kids and other human beings. Bodies, cadavers are being discovered to be floating in the waters you see. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Bodies and
what that is,
cadavers
but
being
I
discovered.
would not want to be over in Europe watching this. Can you imagine sitting in your house and seeing bodies floating down the street and coming inside your house? Maybe, who knows?
Well, I kind of was thinking because QAnon says that, or Q says that some stuff just can't be told. And because it's we're not in charge and we didn't have a plan. And so if these decisions have to be made, they have to be made by certain people. They can't sit around thinking about all the, decisions have to be made. And that's just the way it has to be. But I wanted to add, because we talked for a little while where you guys were trying not to talk.
Okay, we're gonna jump ahead a little bit. Okay.
Ago, this video.
Mhm.
And this battle took place, did he say in the 70s, 79 or something like that?
It was in the 70s. I know that's when he lost his hand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was fighting some big reptilian type being, and he was shooting. I guess it wasn't just him; it was others with him. And the being was using some type of future weapon that shoot rays, and it hit him, and it took his hand off. And
Well, here, according to my notes, he starts off by talking about that, and this is an older video. I think it looks like it's from the 80s, maybe, or the early 90s. But he says at this time there are 6 underground bases that are like cities.
Mhm.
And what he says is there's 11 species of alien at this time. 2 of these species are benevolent. That's it. He says the Palladians, and he talks about Billy Myers, who I've seen, who claims to live in inner Earth, going back and forth. And also he talks about valiant Thor. And you're exactly right. Phil Schneider was a geologist, and they were digging tunnels, and he works with the military in making these underground bases. And the military never said a word about any of this stuff.
The military generally doesn't say anything about secret underground bases. So curious as to why that would be so surprising. Okay, let's go back here real quick before we close out. This is probably Dang Heng, HNN, right here, a Chinese man. Now, either he is responsible, either the the Chinese Communist Party is responsible for all this effort to try to get Trump placed back in office, or this young man's been hacked. my opinion is this young man's been hacked, as the other sites have been as well. And when they say, the people that are responsible for these videos, when they say the power is going to go out or the communications are going to go out because of hackers, they are the hackers. When it happens, that's who will have done it if it does indeed happen. Remember, create a problem, blame somebody else for the problem, claim you're a victim of the problem, all right? And the reason this is so dangerous is because the United States government can be very, very stupid. It really can. And what happens with the government, they're caught looking backwards at all the time, caught looking backwards. Right now, the whole government is focused on January 6th. What happened January 6th? Why did it happen? And not enough people are focused on what is about to happen, in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there are plenty of people focused on what could happen from all the lies, deception, and deceit that is going on centered around trying to get Donald Trump reinstated as president of the United States. He's not. He's a former president. And with the stuff I just mentioned at the beginning, with Iran, United States, Israel, United Kingdom, the potential for conflict there, the last thing we need is a former president with delusions trying to divide the country. Do what normal former presidents do. Go write a book, make some money, give some speeches, show up every once in a while and wave. Don't be a doofus, all right? I want to run down here real quick. Donald Rumsfeld at Gitmo, because there was one I wanted to end on. This is civil war. Mass arrests are taking place. They're not. Arrest warrants issued. No. Antifa's on the move. Okay. Trump ends Twitter. Okay. Trump is, how many fake Bidens are there? Mass arrests of the deep state, send Biden to Gitmo. And there you see one of the videos that snuck in here of the actual person that owns the site. That, but with the number of views he's getting on average about 50,000 views probably per video, so he's okay with it. I'm not going to be able to find it, I don't think. One of them says that there's a cell at Gitmo for Mike Pence, and that's the one I was trying to find. Maybe it's on one of the other sites, but there it is. Gitmo cell for Mike Pence. And Mike Pence is actually a patriot. Mike Pence actually saved the constitutional democracy of the United States by certifying a certifiable election. He did what he was supposed to do, what he was instructed to do by the Constitution of the United States. He's actually a patriot that saved the constitutional democracy. Do with that what you want. I couldn't find the one I wanted to end on because I wanted to show you how they view Donald Trump, and but I did find the picture. This is how they view Donald Trump, and Trump posted this picture himself with his head on Rocky's body. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Obama had done something like that? If George Bush even had done something like that, the outcry at the, they'd be questioning sanity. But instead, what we're seeing is a cult of personality. And it's just something to think about. We're going to be talking about the Olympics in an upcoming episode. I heard some troubling stuff, and I don't want to discuss that. But and again, we're going to be monitoring what's going on in Iran. There was a drone strike on an Israeli oil tanker, I believe it was headed for the UK, and the UK, United States, and Israel are conferring on coming together to try to deal with Iran. If they do that, then chances are Russia, China are going to come in on the side of Iran, as well as the majority of the Muslim world. And if you don't think that's a problem, you're watching the wrong show, plain and simple. This is the American Doofus Show. This is for thinkers. All right. This is to give people something to think about. Of course, we have our trolls, and they have their say. And generally, their comments are pretty telling. They're about my hat, or about a relationship, or about something other than the truth, which is what we talk about and what they like to distract from. So with that being said, I love y'all, even you trolls. I do. Wish you nothing but peace, love, harmony, blessings. Yeah, because hate brings about darkness, and it's a very dark world. Love brings about light. Be a light. I love y'all. Until next time, this is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus.